What is up? Coming at you with round two. This will be my second commentary on my second game from War of the Ring Tournament 2020. I was FP this time, and I think it was a pretty good game. So let's get it on. I will not pretend that this is my first take trying to record it on Zoom, but the first time, even though the video was off the screen, on the recording, there's a picture of my face in the upper right corner. Blocking your view of cards, me sitting in my apartment as it gradually goes dark outside and dark in my apartment, and I'm just sitting picking my nose. So it seemed worth another shot, and I like doing this anyway, so let's see if this one's better. I've got the Java client loaded, I believe. Yes. I will need to view the free player's hand, won't I? Yeah. FP swag. Very true. Cool. He allocates an eye, rolls an eye. I roll a pretty standard roll. Got some good variety. Starting cards. Oops. I like Mithril Coat and Sting a lot for hunt purposes. The main point where it seems to be good is in Mordor, so you're avoiding all the nasty shadow hunt tiles that might be cropping up. But it's good for general assurance anyway. Drawing it here, like I'll definitely play it early, and with the Palantir and Gandalf's guide, that's like a given. Sheridan ships, not directly as usable right now. Charge is definitely a fine combat effect, and the action effect is good too for Dol Amroth mostly, and Pelargir on occasion. There's no reason to play that early, so I'm definitely going to hold on to it for a while here. So, yep, we're going to get out Mithril Coat and Sting. We're going to draw a card. Gwaihir the Windlord. There's also a cool card to draw right away in the beginning, because it gives you a lot of flexibility with moving companions. Shadow will draw. I will do the first Fellowship move and kind of get sniped. He's got the 1R. That's not worth burning Mithril Coat and Sting. And I'm actually going to hang on to Gandalf. It's debatable whether just killing him off here is fine or not, but I don't have a Will of the West this turn, and he, even if I did, he would recruit Saruman afterwards, and he doesn't have 2 musters, so he will not be able to recruit Saruman. So basically I just made the value decision to hang on to Gandalf. You could do either way depending on how you wanted to play the game. He does the classic Nirn and Barad-dûr to Gorgoroth move. We might see that move some more in the future because you do it most games. Gonna hide. He's gonna get Isengard to war, so definitely still going for Saruman even though he can't play him on the first stage. I think given this, I kind of made the assumption that he was going to go for the Saruman and like Rohan rush strat, because that does seem pretty standard play. Definitely like at our skill level too. Oh yeah, he drew a card for me accidentally. Oops. He was FP last game, so probably a hotkey thing. I moved Rohan down, kind of because he's telegraphing some Isengard action. He just does 1 army move with the character dice. And we're on turn 2. Pretty standard opening, but setting up some cool stuff to come, hopefully. I drew the end card here, which definitely kind of planted a seed in my brain of trying to get to a point of where I could use it, especially because Isengard seemed like the thing to do this game. Swords and Eriador. I don't play the top of this card basically ever, because I don't think I've seen a tournament game yet, or I haven't played one at least, where like the Shire and Grey Havens got attacked. It's pretty rare, certainly. Gonna start with another move, and he will miss. He's gonna play Threats and Promises, which was also a further push to trying to get a companion down to Rohan. So at this point, he has Threats and Promises, so I can't advance a passive nation with a muster die. So basically, as soon as I saw this, I was thinking Gwaihir the Windlord to try and get Gandalf down into Rohan to activate it, to maybe use some musters to get them to war before Saruman and Isengard come in, because they haven't had a super fast start. He uses the army. That's actually interesting that he used the army side instead of the muster side there. This move is definitely good, but I don't know about the timing of it. Like, he's not putting himself in Ithilien for a Faramir's Ranger, and the move to Daggerland sets him up to either go completely north for like a Dew Line campaign or circle around and go to Minas Tirith. Dew is Dale, Erebor, Woodland Drum for the uninitiated. That's a little jargon we like to use. Yeah, this was me calculating how to best move Gandalf here. We weren't sure on the ruling whether I draw a card with Gandalf if playing the card separates him, but we decided it did. So I did. I shouldn't have moved through Orthanc. I should have gone Gap and Rohan, but it's the same number of moves. Horn of Gondor, some more nice Fellowship tech. This play was a little interesting, getting Gandalf to Fords. He can definitely attack from Isengard and just kill Gandalf there, but that's Gandalf the Grey, so if he dies, I can just get Gandalf the White, ostensibly. My goal here was to go Fords and then use an army dice to get into Helm's Deep and activate Rohan. He'll play a Hunt tile card. In the end, yeah, I do that army move. The other half I did South Ithilien, just to kind of bog up his movements here. It's just like a decent value move, I guess. The other ones I like to do are Lorien to Dimrildale, even though you do burn a guy out of Lorien that way. And then you can do like Old Forest Road or stuff up here. Just because like doing this, you're using half of an army dice, and he has to use an entire dice to attack there instead of being able to do 2 moves. So we're basically just getting value in the move economy over the shadow player. He'll get Saruman. And I'm going to bring Rohan down. So now if Fords gets attacked, I'll be able to muster into Helm's Deep or the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Still like pretty safe. Like, I'm not super worried about Gandalf here, because he's gray, but even if I flip him, I definitely have some options on things to do. Cards here, I did draw Faramir's Rangers, which is nice for whatever's going to happen in Ithilien. We prove the Swifter. Probably not going to use at this point unless I want to do some kind of Aragorn stuff. I did get the Will of the West for Gandalf the White, which is pretty cool. Play Horn of Gondor just for Fellowship tech, keeping my Fellowship safe. And it does look like he's definitely still going for the Rohan rush with Isengard. He definitely felt like I was baiting him into the attack here, into rushing out the attack early. Which, I mean, you can make the argument either way for either he should attack me right away or he should wait and just get that army up to full capacity. But he decided to go for the attack. Yeah, he killed me on Fords, and then I'm going to use character just to take Gandalf to Fangorn.
He arrives precisely when he means.
Very good. Both for keeping him safe so he doesn't die in a Helm's Deep siege, and for the end card, which I'm definitely looking towards using in the future. He does muster in an elite here. Threats and Promises will go from the attack. For some reason, I'm like really bad at calculating probability. I've realized. I thought that putting an elite in Isengard made you pretty safe from Ents, but it's actually still just a 50-50. You're rolling 3 dice and they hit on a 4+. So 3 dice with a 50% chance to hit each. So your possible rolls are 0, 1, 2, or 3, and 2 or 3 is enough to take out the elite in Saruman. It's kind of interesting. So in this situation with Gandalf and one elite and Saruman and one end card, you'll win 50% of the time. If you have two end cards, it goes up to like 89%, which is like pretty baller. I've definitely been burned like three or four times easily in Orthanc with Saruman getting killed by Ents, which I guess is the point. So very on theme. I'm going to muster in an elite in Helm's Deep. He definitely does have that fight numbers-wise, but it should slow him down a lot, and I'm going to be able to muster in more guys to pog it up. So I'm feeling pretty okay about the Rohan campaign at this point. He'll play fighting Uruk-hai, which definitely will help to close out the Helm's Deep fight pretty fast. He will do Relentless Assault. Is that the card? You can do one. You can apply up to 2 hits and you add 1 to all combat roll. I think he only does 1 because he doesn't want to take his hit points below 5. And hitting the elites will take out his leadership. He does downgrade an elite for +1 to all of his combat rolls. Yeah, which does help. He gets 2 hits he wouldn't have otherwise. It's definitely value from his card. I'm going to play Advantageous Position, and he plays Swarm of Bats, so no card effect on the second round. Yeah, he definitely got some good hits there. I got 2, he got 2. That's about what you'd expect up against the fighting Uruk-hai. I feel pretty good about what I did to this army. Like, I'll definitely be able to stall it down and maybe kill it before Edoras falls, depending on what my musters look like. I do have the extra Gandalf the white dice now. Cards, Bilbo's Song. He's fine to heal 1 corruption point, and I can play it for free off of Ents. Kindred of Glorfindel to recruit into Rivendell. I don't know, might be helpful later depending on how the game goes. Yep, here come the Ents. The last march of the Ents. 3 at 4, I got 1, 4, and 6 for 2 hits. So that's a big stall against the Shadow player, taking Saruman out. I get Bilbo's Song to heal a corruption. So good luck on that roll. I guess pretty good use of Gandalf and Fangorn there. He's definitely feeling pretty good about the Isengard fight. He's going to press on. I'm going to recruit another elite in. And it looks like he's going for kind of bringing Saruman into the fight more. Bringing in more Rohan elites. At this point, I got 3 and 1 against his... I got 1 and 3 against his 3 and 1, so I'm definitely favored in that fight. Here, because Rohan's force pool is so big, just like being able to muster in a ton of Rohan guys before you get wiped out can be like a very big like military stall against a Shadow player. You can like go and conquer Orthanc easily that way. You can go up to help Lorien, which it looks like he's going after this game. And you can go down to help Minas Tirith. So Rohan is a pretty key area, which is why it gets Saruman rushed most games. That move's interesting. So he's going just straight north for Dew Line and then bringing in more guys to the Lorien fight. I don't know exactly why he chose to go Dew Line here. Like, I probably would have sent this army over to finish Rohan off. I think one flaw in the Shadow play of this game was definitely just leaving Rohan alone for too long. As we shall see, that will be a big pain. Get in a Fellowship move. He brings in the Witch King for the Lorien fight, it looks like. All of my, as of yet, unmoved factions activate. I use a Will of the West to move elves down here. I don't know how useful that move was because Lorien's going to be into siege before it matters. And I guess the only thing at that point is bringing in more elves to Woodland Realm, which he has telegraphed that he's going north, and Woodland Realm is probably where you stop first when you're doing that. especially if elves are already at war. So bringing in more guys there will definitely be helpful if I can make it work. And we're on turn 5. It's definitely looking good on the Saruman front down there. And I'm going to try and leverage Rohan to just pump in as many dudes as possible. Looks like Lorien's under attack, and then the Dew line. And that will put him to 9 points. And then if he can finish Rohan off or just snipe one more point somewhere, like Pelagir or something, he'll have it. The Dew line and Lorien and then Rohan is usually what Dew line games look like. Otherwise, like the standard is Gondor for 5, Rohan for 3, and then Lorien for 2. Or maybe like Grey Havens or something. So it's interesting. I'd be interested to see where he would go to get the last point here if he does end up winning Dew line and Lorien. But Dew line is going to be pretty hard for him with that army as is. Like Dew line is pretty strong. It's easier to conquer once you get there than Minas Tirith is, but the march is so long, it's usually a harder grab. It's a little bit greedier for sure. I draw a Dane's Ironfoot here too, which would have let me muster an elite and a leader into Erebor once it goes into siege, which is pretty good. Pretty good considering the game circumstances. Definitely can't complain about my cards or my rules too much this game. Seems like Lady Favor is on the side of the light. And yeah, with Saruman's dice gone, he's down to 5 actions to my 5 actions, even with the Witch King in, having rolled 3 eyes. So once you're like doing even actions with the free player, military becomes very hard. But my fellowship's not super far along either for turn 5, so I've definitely slowed the fellowship down some with my military shenanigans. Gonna muster more guys into Rohan because that's just what I'm gonna do now. Just throw down as many guys on the board there as possible to be a pain. He's gonna do a move to move towards Lorien. I play File, why not? I want to do it eventually. Phylloxy for Bane. I'm gonna move the fellowship. And he definitely should have gotten a hit here, but his roll was kind of bad. Pretty bad. So safe for the fellowship again. Stupid birds. He's doing an army move and he's bringing the Southrons and Easterlings army up, which is what you want to do for the Dew line, but he's still not at war and he hasn't mustered in at all. There's a card, Horde from the East, is it? That puts in 5 guys on the east edge of the map, which is a good way to get more guys in here. Other than that, you can muster, but it's pretty slow. So kind of not the best setup on the Southrons and Easterlings for his Dew line campaign. And he's going towards Woodland Realm first. He's trying to put Lorien into siege and Woodland Realm into siege consecutively, so I can't muster in more guys, which makes sense. I'm going to do the fellowship move here just to get kind of like points on the map and start threatening that versus the shadow player, even though it's pretty likely I'll get hit here. But I can burn Horn of Gondor or Mythical Croton Sting if it's really bad. So you do a 3, I end up doing Horn of Gondor. Just because I really like Mythical Croton Sting once you get to Mordor, so I want to hang on to that as long as I can. And chances are Boromir will die to a random hunt draw eventually, and you don't want to lose Horn. So I draw Mary, use Horn, take 1 corruption. Pretty good. Can't complain. Still got Strider as guide, which I like. Mary will go to Lorien to help out the coming siege. He's going to start bringing Southrons and Easterlings down, prepping them for the Dew line attack, but still got a ways to go there, and that army's not big yet. I'm feeling pretty good about military and like my time that I have left to get the fellowship to Mordor at this point. I'll be able to be a pain in the neck in Rohan. He still has a good ways to go, and it's pretty possible that his Dew line campaign will stall out. Lorien is pretty gone, but so it goes. I kill Smeagol helps Nice Master here, just because I don't feel like I need the Fellowship tile. Yeah. Hunt Pool. Yeah, I don't have a lot in there, but I'm trying to just go the military route and slow down the shadow as much as I can, more so than stacking my Fellowship cards. Really, what I need from the Fellowship is speed at this point. I'm going to declare so I can get through Moria safe. That does put me close to the Witch King's army, but I'm not too worried about that because they're pretty busy. King's, yeah, that's right. King Brandsman for 2 units in Dale was another card I drew. I think I drew it this turn, but definitely a good card considering what's going on up here. So can't complain about my card draws. Draw Riders of Theoden too, which is definitely helping my Rohan. So sometimes you have games that things go your way. I definitely made good decisions this game, I think, but cards and dice weren't bad either. He takes Lorien, putting the Elves at War, and I muster into Woodland Realm. And then he'll put Woodland Realm into Siege. So it is nice to get the one more elite there. Riders of Theoden to buff Rohan. He brings in more Nazgul. That move's kind of interesting. Bring Nazgul in versus getting the Southrons and Easterlings to war. He's got 2 up here. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, he had enough to just put them all here, but maybe he just wants more, and that's fine. He's going to use a character dice to distribute them and put one on the Fellowship. Yeah, he actually, I think that's correct. Spread them out and make the Fellowship's job harder, and then you can use another character to put them all in Woodland Realm when you do that attack. So nice play. Nice Nazgul management. I'm going to do the Fellowship move. So basically every turn I'm going to do one Fellowship move to keep them moving because they are ultimately my win condition. I'm definitely not pushing for a military victory at this point. And he's going to play Grand in Lorien, which will probably close that fight out pretty fast. At the point when you have these odds, a regular 2 elites, a leader and a minor companion versus like a pretty decent shadow army. He does only have 1 elite, but he's definitely favored here. He's got 11 hit points and 5 leadership to my 5 hit points and 2. And he played Grand. I have Daring Defiance to cancel out his card, which is pretty nice. And I'm not going to use We Prove the Swifter this game. So my Fellowship is fine. So canceling out Great Host is pretty nice. And he only rolls 1 hit. And I don't roll anything. Round 2 of Grand. He's got Relentless Assault. So he inflicts 2 hits against his guys, and he's hitting on a 4 in the combat. Kind of bad rolls from him. I didn't roll any hits either, though. So he got 1 and I basically got 2 from Relentless Assault. And nice rerolls there to finish me off with 3 hits. So that's about what you would have expected for that fight. I took out some orcs and he burned a lot of good cards, but I fell in just 1 action with Grand, as one would expect. He's got Hill Trolls to put more elites up north for the Woodland Realm attack. And he is definitely getting points on the board at this point, having Lorien taken. But this Rohan army down here, I'm feeling like real good about. Like they're going to be able to do some stuff. I can send them north to Lorien to retake it, or go to Isengard, retake Helm's Deep. So I definitely was kind of greedy to go straight north and leave Rohan unchecked. It's very easy to pay the price when you do things like that as a shadow player. Got my 1 per turn Fellowship move, and he does hit. And he rolls a 3. And I don't use Mythical Coat and Sting here. I'm still saving it for Mordor. So I draw Boromir and just take 1 corruption. It's not bad. It's nice to have soaked up 2 hits there. More dudes in Rohan. He's actually just coming south to try and close out Rohan now. But I've got a pretty nice force. I'm feeling pretty good down there. Yeah, I'm going to hit Westamnet, hopefully force him to retreat to Fords, and then he'll attack me with his big army from Eastamnet, and see what happens. But I should be able to get Helm's Deep there, and the Westamnet force isn't big. I use Valor to get some nice hits, 2 hits. He retreats these guys back into his big army here, which is interesting. He maybe should have just gone for Helm's Deep, so I wouldn't be able to retake. He'll attack me with his big army, and I use Horon Dark, so he only rolls 2 dice, which is pretty nice. I guess why I'm being pretty aggressive with the Rohan army, because I know I have this card to basically negate most of 1 combat round. He got Cruel as Death, so he'll add 1 to his dice. He gets 2, I get 3. He'll press. I had a brain fart. I thought I could retreat into Helm's Deep, but you can't retreat to conquer. So we Googled that and we were like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. But Forge of Ison is actually kind of better because I can use the Paladin or the Will of the West as an army and do both Orthanc and Helm's Deep in 1 move. So definitely being the pain down here. He puts Helm's Deep into siege. Oleg High to get another elite in the Helm's Deep fight. I just keep throwing down more Rohan soldiers. Like this time I'm bogging down his way back. Being nice and pesty. And we're in turn 8. Got another end card. Ents MVP. That'll be pretty useful because there's a lot going on in Rohan. So still have Dane's Ironfoot, which is nice for the D line, but he's not really paying attention to the fight up here right now. Faramir's Rangers I'm probably not going to use because it doesn't look like Minas Tirith is going to be a theater. Help Unlooked For will probably not happen this game. Kindred of Glorfindel to recruit in Rivendell is whatever. Not a whole lot on my cards to go off of strategy-wise other than getting the recruit into Erebor. Fellowship's getting pretty close. And I have more actions than he does this turn because he rolled 4 eyes. So I do just play the elves. But yeah, my plan this turn with the 2 armies is to go to Lorien and also go towards Moria. Just so the shadow player has to burn more actions to keep me from getting the MV there. And retaking Lorien will definitely burn a lot of actions for him. Orcs and Goblin Men for more dudes. That's in Helm's Deep and Isengard Elites. I still do 1 Fellowship move here, even though he's got 4 dice, but we'll probably not do a second because that will definitely hit. He did get a hit, but only a 0R, which I don't mind at all. I'm feeling pretty good on time because I definitely have time to get to Mordor at this point. Like it's going to take him quite a while to get to 10 points out here. So corruption is kind of my big concern right now. I'm going to try and just keep that as low as possible. So I don't mind the 0 reveal. It's pretty nice. That does let him play Morgul Wound. And basically any game where you haven't been revealed all game and then you get revealed, you're going to get hit with some gross stuff from the shadow player. So he adds 2 corruption off of Morgul Wound. I hide in case he's got more. Yeah, this is starting to do the army actions I was talking about. I was thinking of putting more guys in Westimnet and then going to forwards, I think, but really just going north to Lorien makes more sense, so that's what I did. And then pushing towards Moria. And he actually just abandoned Helm's Deep here to go to Orthanc to keep me from getting a military victory. Next turn, ostensibly. It'd be pretty easy to go 2 moves and then kill Lorien. So Orthanc is kind of more pressing than Helm's Deep for him at this point, but a lot of actions lost from this nonsense from the Shadow player. Turn 9. Definitely not a speedy Fellowship game for me. It kind of seems, in my experience, like playing free player. You either want to do like a Fellowship rush, where just all your actions are going to getting to Mordor as fast as you can, or you want to slow down the Shadow player's military, and then you can afford to go slower with the Fellowship. So this is definitely the latter for me. Turn 8 is like, if you do a ring dunk and everything goes as fast as possible, you can dunk on turn 8. But this is looking like an 11 or 12 turn game at this point, because it'll take me this one to get in Mordor and then a couple more to get up. But feeling pretty good at this point. Grohan definitely came back, and all this action down here slowed the Shadow player down a lot and probably won me the game. Taking the Dew line is going to take forever for him, even if he has enough soldiers there. That's a lot of actions burned. And then I'm poised to take Lorien back, throw some elves in there. Got rid of Faramir's shield wall here, just because I'm not going to need it. He didn't roll any eyes. I rolled 3 characters, so Mordor is definitely happening this round. I got a recruit for Wood in the Drum, which is pretty nice because they're under siege. Power 2 Great's a nice draw too. In case he goes to take Lorien back again, I can slow him down. He recruits into Moria. I do wonder if I should have gone to Moria here, but with those dice and that number of actions he has, we'll definitely be able to take Orthanc back. So I'm not going to be able to get a military victory. So just forcing him to burn actions defending Moria is the best outcome for me now. And really, like, everything I'm doing is trying to get him to burn actions. Military victories are nice if they happen, but usually the Shadow player just makes a mistake or you're able to do something really sneaky. It's not really a strategy you can plan consistently. It's like an opportunist thing to keep the Shadow player scared. It is a great game mechanic, though. Definitely appreciate it. He gets some more orcs in Dol Guldur and Mount Gundabad with that card. Dol Guldur is nice to go back to Lorien. He is looking to retake Orthanc. Yeah, I got that Ents card again to just try and score some hits here to slow him down. I just 1 hit, but not the worst. And gonna play a free card to heal 1 corruption. I'm gonna go back there. Yeah, there's another way. It's nice to save this card for Golem because you get a free move. But really at this point, it doesn't look like I'm gonna be getting Golem. Maybe ever. Since I still have 4 hunt tile draws worth of Fellowship damage. So it seems fine to just use that for the free action here. Kind of more conservative from me. Not trying to push it. He attacks Orthanc. I need to kill this card. Yeah, I have Confusion here, which is a great card. Just because he's going to be rolling 5 dice, so every result of 1 will score a hit against him. Just again to slow him down. Common theme this game. He rolls 4-4, 1-1-1. So a lot of confusion going on there. And of course I rolled a hit with my guy. So we went from just an annoyance to actually he's going to need to move more guys in there to take Orthanc. I move the Fellowship up. And he just has to use an army action to move in the rest of his guys to Orthanc. I think that move is going towards Rivendell, but that's really fine. I don't care too much. Get my second Fellowship move to declare in Mordor next turn. Yeah, he's definitely going to Rivendell. I still have one army move, so I'm going to bring those guys back. Retake Lorien and go back to Rivendell. He plays Great Host to just auto-kill my Orthanc guy. What a hero. The lone soldier. Made the shadow player basically burn an entire turn with no eyes, so can't complain. Elven Rope and Grimbeold the Born. Grimbeold, the old son of Bjorn. That's a mouthful. I don't really care about that. Elven Rope is good because I'm going to be in Mordor soon. Power 2, great. I'll probably be playing to block out Lorien. Declare in Mordor. He does 3 eyes, which is probably correct. At this point, he's going to need so much time to get to 10 points on the board. Like, he's back down to 0 after I retook Lorien. That really just pushing for Fellowship damage is the thing he should do here. Like, it's pretty unlikely. Like, I'm doing pretty well. I have Mithril Coat and Sting. I'm only at 3. I still have these 4 guys left in the Fellowship. But really, like, he's not going to win military at this point. He's just too far behind. So even if you have like a 5 or 10% chance of a corruption win, you should try and maximize that because you should always play to win. Not play to lose by as little as possible, but play to win. However small your chance of winning is, that's what you go for. Oh my god, Elven Rope. Elven Rope. Candles of Corpses to add 1 point for every die 4+, roll 3. Oh, he doesn't roll any. Kind of bad luck there. I almost feel like that card would feel better if it just added damage, because the dice roll can be super swingy there. Like, if he had hit me with 3, I'd be in a much different spot than with hitting 0, and his plays are exactly the same. Maybe it should hit 1 automatically and you roll 2 dice? I don't know. I'm not a game designer. I never could have designed this game. This game is genius. Gonna recruit in Lorien. Kind of like baiting out the Lorien attack so I can play Power 2 great and slow him down more. He brings Mouth of Sauron in. I move the north down for whenever the Dale attack comes. North is another really great faction based on the reinforcement pool. You got 4 leaders and 4 regulars, or 4 elites, 4 regulars, and 3 leaders, which is super tasty. I think that's about what Rohan has. If you can get the north to war and muster a lot with them, you're good. And Rohan is out of reinforcements and been out for a little while. So that's kind of where my military avenue is going at this point. But really, the Fellowship is kind of all that matters now. Nice use of the Shadow is moving. Getting 4 army moves. So he's threatening Peлагir down here for for the 1 point. Lorien for 2 and Dewline. Put him at 5, 6, 7, 8. Then he like needs to retake Helm's Deep or something. Definitely a ways to go. I bring in reinforcements in Rivendell. That was my only Elven reinforcement left, so I just put 1 guy in Rivendell so he can't put it into siege, or he can't take it. He needs to siege it. And he brings guys into Orthanc. And I still have all 3 Elven rings, so just 1 per turn I'm going to burn for Fellowship moves. He gives it to us. This was an interesting decision. I can take 1 damage, a reveal, and a stop. Or I can use Mithril Coat and Sting. And really, I have plenty of time, and the 1 damage isn't too worrisome. Because time's not really a factor, I don't care about the reveal and stop. So I ended up keeping it, which is probably correct there. Like, an eye could really burn me at this point for 4 damage or something. So I definitely want Mithril Coat and Sting to stick around. Turn 11. Basically just all in on the ring dunk at this point. Kind of both of us are. He puts in 4 eyes. Yeah. He uses the Black Captain commands to kind of as a double action to get his Nazgul where they need to be and get in and attack at the same time. So just action economy there. I've got no quarter to hopefully score an extra hit. He's got Black Breath to cancel out rerolls, but I only have one reroll, so it's kind of whatever. But he will draw a character card from the Witch King there. So smart play from him, like he's digging for corruption damage basically. He rolls no hits, I roll 2 hits. He presses there. Round 2, I get 3. Yeah. Combat's going pretty well for me. Like I did have a good number of guys in Woodland Realm. There's 1 and 3 and 1. So pretty nice having 7 HP worth there. That is definitely getting to be in risky territory for a lone Sauron army. And combat did go my way pretty well here. So he ceases the attack. Move the Fellowship, he draws a 2. Again, I'm not super worried about that, so I just tank it. End up losing a Hobbit. Basically, Mithril Coat and Sting is for 3 and stop or an eye at this point. Yeah. He puts Lorien into siege. I play Power Too Great to slow him down by an action. So he needs to discard Power Too Great and an action dice before he can take Lorien. He adds the Shelob tile, which is another one I want to use Mithril Coat and Sting against, for sure. I've been burned by that too many times. Like, sometimes people roll a 5 or a 6. It's quite frightening. I move the north down. He can't attack Lorien because of Power Too Great. I move the Fellowship and he gets a 0 and reveal, which is pretty good for me. Don't mind that. He's kind of just, I don't know, doing whatever at this point with his fighting. Taking Woodland Realm. He gets 2, I get 1. I'm able to soak up a hit with my leader from the heroic death. Nice use of heroic death there. He does max eyes. Rolls another. Yeah, I use the Strider ability to hide. Yeah, that's super nice to have. Because that'll give me 2 moves for 1, 2, and then I can burn another Elven Ring for the 3rd. I draw a character card, just because the Fellowship is what matters at this point. Gonna move, he draws File of Galadriel. GG. Damn, that tile is so good. The -2, man. Going from 5 to 3. That's a big swing. He gets a 1 end reveal. Legolas will die. And yeah, I'll just wait until next turn to do the dunkers. I got plenty of time. He's still at 0. He plays the Lore of the Ring. And I draw Aragorn, so Strider will die. We've got Gimli left. And I use an Elven Ring to hide. I think he burned it to draw a character card. Yeah. And we go for the dunk, and he gets an eye for 3. So that's game. Ended up not even needing Mithril Coat and Sting, but it's really nice even just having it on the table for the extra insurance. Like, you know, you don't need to be afraid getting haymakered out of nowhere from hunt tiles, like getting Shelobbed or the 3 and stop. or an eye when the eye's up to like 5 damage. So overall, definitely like the Rohan theater was a big deciding factor in this game. I definitely think as the shadow player, you don't want to leave a nation at war and kind of just ignore it for too long, especially one that has a good starting force pool. If we go to new game, I have to do here, yeah. Look at force pool. Rohan's got 4 elites, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regulars, and 3 leaders, which is just a ton of dudes to get on the map. So they're a really good nation to get to war and then just muster in. The North is also. Minas Tirith is too. But if Minas Tirith is at war, like you're under attack from so many armies, I haven't really seen a good like militarization by Minas Tirith. Unless like Gandalf and Aragorn are both there. You can kind of make like a super army that's pretty immune to Nazgul and very hard to fight. Elves have some elites, which are nice for defending your strongholds before they go into siege if you can, but it's hard to militarize the elves because your pool is so limited. Dwarves' pool is, I mean, not great, and they're also just at the edge of the map, so they almost never matter. It's maybe like 1 out of every 4 or 5 games the dwarves come into play. But that's about all she wrote for this one. Thanks for watching. Pretty good luck in this game for me. Like rolls were pretty good. My card draws were good, and I mean overall my strategy was pretty cohesive, and I had some good military action versus the shadow player here. So until next time, love you, appreciate you. Hopefully my face has not been on the screen this whole time. Catch you on the flip.